Lump sum contracts are fixed type contracts in most of the construction industry. Yes, there are very much benefits out of it, but there are many myths, the misconceptions about a lump sum contract. In this video, we are going to look at which are those myths and misconceptions about lump sum contracts. I thought it is very important, but we all are coming from a construction industry. Hello friends, my name is Ijaz Kazi and welcome to my YouTube channel. Let us look at one by one what are the misconceptions of a lump sum contract. The first misconception is that lump sum contracts mean no cost overruns. So this is again one of the myth or misconceptions. Lump sum cost contracts can have cost overruns if there are some unforeseen conditions, scope changes, the design changes. If this situation arises, the contractor can claim additional cost. If there are certain conditions or the delays because of external factors not contributable to contractors still can claim cost overruns. Hence, it is very important to cover all these aspects in a lump sum contract conditions that such situation may arise, and there has to be a balance for taking care of such issues. So lump sum contract can have cost overruns. No cost overruns is a misconception. The second misconception is lump sum contracts cover all risks. So lump sum contracts cannot cover all risks. There are issues or there are conditions like force majeure. There are conditions when the law changes. There are conditions when taxes, duties get changed, right? There are conditions where employer himself is not able to perform their obligations. In that cases, it cannot cover all risks. So it is very important to add this risk in a contract, and there should be a fairness in contract conditions to take care of such risks if they arise. So lump sum contracts do not cover all risks. There are certain risks which are beyond, and that needs to be tackled contractually. The third one is lump sum contracts mean no variations. So lump sum contracts can have variation if there are scope changes, if there is scope addition, if there is scope deletion, if there is a design change, if the employer or sponsor wants to add or delete some of the features of that contract. Yeah, so there can be variations both upward as well as downward. It is very important to have that clause of variations in a lump sum contract to tackle such variation if they arise. There has to be a clause for some variations. It is not necessary that you will say lump sum contract that means I will not have a variation clause. We must have, and it has to be properly documented and recorded. The fourth one is lump sum contracts always the cheapest option. So this is again a misconception. When a contractor is bidding for a project like this, he will always have contingencies. He'll always have buffer in his estimation for some of the risk which he may foresee that might happen. So your contract price might be little higher. So it is not necessary that you say this is all risk are passed on to the contractor. This becomes a cheapest contract option. No, it may not be necessary. So you will have to see detailed working to see that what is the right price for the contract. It is a misconception. Lump sum contracts are always the cheapest option. The fifth one is lump sum contracts payment terms are fixed. So it is not necessary that lump sum contracts we pay only after completion of the project. The contractor, if you want to perform, they need a cash flow. The cash flow is a lifeline for a project progress. So it is very important to have terms of payment which are milestone based so that they get adequate cash flow to run your project. Finally, not paying a contractor will definitely have impact on your project. So lump sum contract do not mean that you have to pay after the project completion. You have to have milestones for terms of payment. The next one, lump sum contracts eliminate disputes. It does not mean that. Lump sum contracts, since you can say that it is a fixed price and there will not be any variations, there will not be any claims, so there will not be any disputes. The dispute still can happen if there is an issue in scope definition. The interpretation of clauses can still have disputes. So you cannot eliminate the disputes in lump sum contracts. Again, that is again a misconception. The seventh one is lump sum contracts. Contractor can't claim additional time or money. Contractor can ask for additional money or time if there are conditions where employer or sponsor is contributing to the delay. If there are conditions of force majeure or conditions which are beyond the contractor as well as employer's hand, they will have to be extension of time. If there are variations, if there are scope changes or so condition, the contractor is liable to ask for additional money. And depending upon your contract clauses, if there is an extension of time, there could be chances of extension of cost. So all have to be framed in the contract rather than saying that lump sum contracts contractor can't, claim additional time as well as money. Eighth one, its design is always complete before signing a lump sum contract. If that is so, it is the best contract to go for, but it doesn't happen in reality. There are always issues in definition of scope. There are always issues of some design changes. There are always issues of the design which is already been frozen will have some complications or some limitations to execute. Such situation arises. So it is not 100% possible that you will sign the contract once the designs are ready. That is again a misconception. So you will have such situations. Lump sum contract suitable for all types of projects is again another ninth misconception. So one solution doesn't fit for all. It is not necessary that they will be suitable for all types of projects. When you deal with complex project, when we do use a mixed use project, when we have designs which are iterable, these lump sum contracts may not work. It will be very difficult to estimate such contracts and hence they may not work. So lump sum contract suitable for all types of projects is again another myth. The last misconception is lump sum contract do not require strong contract administration. Since we feel that all entire risk is given to contractor, you do not require strong contract administration. No, you will have to have those clauses of variations, extension of times, force majeure, or any other things, and those needs to be monitored, and that can be done with proper contract administration. It is not necessary to give the contract and expect contractor to complete without any difficulties. You will have problems during the contracts. You will have contracts disputes coming in. You will have contractors claiming the changes, claiming their claims for any other issues. We need to be there monitoring these contracts. So it is again a misconception that lump sum contract do not require strong contract administration. So these are all myths, the 10 myths about lump sum contracts, which I thought I will cover. Thank you so much. There is a announcement here on a Class Plus platform. I have online course on project management importance at very very reasonable cost. That cost is only to take care of all these infrastructures. Otherwise, the motto is to go and reach out to as many as possible to get this important topic of project management across. The online course, digitally recorded. If you are interested, please enroll. The links are in description box. Thank you so much for your patient listening. Follow me on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, ejazkazi.com. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much.